took an $1,800 loss this trade. I traded it yesterday. Uh, Performed horribly. Although yesterday was a gain of 1,300, today those although yesterday was a 1,300 gain, my performance yesterday was horrible, and my performance carried on to today. After I had performed horribly, I came up with a plan, and I was like, I'm going to be very careful with how I'm trading now that I'm, $2,000 above PDT. That kind of gave me a good breather, and I'm come into trading very careful and very smart, and I'm not going to size in too big. And today was the complete opposite of what I planned for. Um, and it's not a matter of planning to trade good; it's about having the discipline to trade good. But like Rondell Howell or Randall Howell said, um, you got to master your mind, because when you're trading, uh, it's like before you're in a trade, you have all these things that you learn about trading and what to do, what not to do. But in the moment, it's like everything's been thrown out the window, and you really have to master your mind to follow these rules. And honestly, I threw everything out the window um, when I got into this trade. So, you know, um, I didn't expect it to be this big of a loss, but I'll explain to you how this happened. I might try to make this video a short video because it's real simple. Um, I just fucked it up. But before we start, I want to show you the yearly chart. I don't know if I did this yesterday or not, but the yearly chart shows that there is no overhead resistance. Um, Excuse me. What is this D thing? So the yearly chart shows there's no overhead resistance. That's something I wasn't aware of or even thinking of. But um, so I shouldn't be even trading it like like there's resistance up overhead, you know. But because of how it performed yesterday and how it was just whoever was trading stock was just or whoever the company was just dumping shares, I assumed that it was just gonna um, be dumped today. So um, you know, I was thinking, okay, first red day, the stock might have a first red day. So last night I'm thinking, okay, I should have watched. I told myself I should have watched Gritani's um, for overextended gap down strategy, but I was like, okay, it's too late for me to watch it now. I need to go to bed. I'm gonna set an alarm to wake up to watch it. I'm gonna set an alarm early to wake up and watch it. Uh, I probably never heard that alarm or probably hit the snooze button, but I woke up 15 minutes before market open. Terrible idea, terrible mindset. Um, I shouldn't be thinking about trading if I'm waking up late to the market. But undisciplined myself, I do. But I looked at the pre-market and I woke up at like 9:15. Horrible, but looked at pre-market. It looked completely illiquid. Illiquid. I mean, like market open, which was right here. when it opened, it only traded 222,000 shares, which wasn't much. But market open, I mean pre-market, it was illiquid. It was 20 cents away from red to green. I'm looking at this like, okay, it's 20 cents away from red to green. Um, I'm gonna take a short right here, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna take $1,000 share short, which is $100 risk. Well, $200 risk from red to green. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna cut it short at um, 27. I looked at this candlestick, and the highest point was 26.98. I'm like, okay, I'm willing to take $100 loss since I made 1,300 yesterday. I'm just gonna buy. I'm just gonna short 100 shares, and that's it. And I'm just gonna play like this. This is gonna flush because every time I'm watching the stock and pre-market is just completely illiquid, market open it just flushes. But I guess not today. And I need to do this. I need to do the statistics on that on an overextended gap down. Um, that's like opening week and has barely came down. Um, but I do know the first 15 to 30 minutes it will have its higher day. So I told myself, okay, I'm gonna short the flush, and then it should bounce back near high day, and I'll cover before it starts bouncing. So it was still pre-market. It came down. I was up $200 like right here. I'm like, okay, from my entry to where I'm entering at now is not much of a difference. So I'm gonna add some shares. And I doubled down on my shares, added another 1,000 at 26.18. So my average was first to add 26.94, and then I added at 26.80, and then my average was I think 26.84 or 26.86, and I'm like I need to change my my entry point, but I needed to change my risk, but I just didn't. I couldn't think of it, and I was just in the wrong mindset this whole trade. I entered it with the wrong mindset. I added it with the wrong mindset, although I was up. And then the next minute, it's like somebody, I didn't look at the level twos or time cells, but somebody just started hitting the axe and just buying shares. And I went from here, the stock went from here to here. I was down 130 bucks. I was like, oh shit, I sized in too big. That's when I realized I sized in way too big. And I had to calm myself down and be more logic of this trade. And I'm like, okay, you sized in too big. Um, you sized in too big. It's like past your entry, near your risk of your original risk of 27, or it hit your risk of 27. You didn't get out. You froze. I was frozen, like a deer in headlights. I was just frozen, and I'm like $130. That's not much compared to what I was already trying to risk $100. And I don't know why I had this mindset, but I guess I was really expecting to win, and losing an extra 30 bucks was just not I was it's like I wasn't accepting that. And looking back, I'm like, bro, I should have just took the $130 loss. And um then it hit red to green, and I was just like, oh shit. And then it came back down, and I think I was down like just a few $100 or something like that. And I still didn't take it. And I'm like, maybe market open, the volume is just gonna kick in and dump this down because it's still right on the day, and only hit my it hit red to green just to buy a little bit because somebody was pumping this shit back up. Somebody did not want this stock to fail. Um, Somebody did not want this stock to fail. So then it started squeezing up, and I just froze and I couldn't get myself to cut losses, and it just squeezed up. Market open, had a pullback, and then I started like thinking, I'm like, okay, fuck, I made a mistake. I broke my rules. I'm under a lot of fear. I'm under a lot of emotions, and I'm calming myself down and starting to think logically. Um, I'm thinking about adding, and I'm just like, no, that would be the wrong idea. Just think, think of what you're supposed to do. And I'm like, okay, I already broke all my rules here. I already broke all my rules here. The stock is up. What do I do from here? And I was like, okay, I can challenge it to see if it will just come back and hit red to green, green to red, and come crashing down. And if not, I gotta get out. And I started, doing this flagpole pattern, um, uh, consolidating right here, and then um, I saw they started pushing up little by little, and I just couldn't. I couldn't some of the strength up to cover because I'm like, man, I rather it could just hit this a high day and just get and then come crashing down. But I was so in the wrong mindset to just take the loss that I waited till high day and then I covered at 27.71 right here. Um, and that was a $1,700 loss. Um, then it perked up here, as you can see, it perked up here, and then pulled back, and I took my short in, and then it got squeezed on again. I saw that it was perking up again, um, and I didn't want to wait till high day again because I chased it. I chased this stock, perked up, I covered. Then right here, um, I took a short. It went higher, and I covered. After this short, that's when it just started really giving me the trend that I was looking for. Um, I gave up about almost $1, about 90 cents per share. I could have been in the green if I just stayed focused and um, followed my rules. Like if I had took the loss right here, or even if I still took the loss here, um, if I trade accordingly here and here, like I finally caught myself, cleared my mind, but I was so damaged from the trade I couldn't perform well. Um, So I came up with a game plan. I'm like, okay, if this is the top short here, which I did, and then ride the wave, and then whenever you see it bottom out, go long and buy the uptrend. But I shorted here. It went um to a high day by like a few cents because I chased it. I chased it right here. Um, I got in at um 28.1, but it had hit like 28.2, 28.3, and it started coming down, and I chased it. Um, and then it pushed up to 28.7, and I covered. And I missed. This was that I was right for short in there because this was it. Um, and then I got in again, and because I was and I chased again right here too, but I got in again, and because I chased and because I was so um, like out of place for taking such a big loss and not really mentally there, not mentally in the right mindset, and I had threw everything out the window. I couldn't perform well, so I started just covering at anytime it upticked against me, I got scared out and covered. And then here, same thing. I so I covered here, and then I switched. I went from shorting to a long, and I bought 4,000 shares. instead of shorting 200 shares, 2,000 shares, which I shouldn't even be shorting 2,000 shares at all. I like this whole time I kept shorting 2,000 shares, and then when I covered here, I went from 2,000 short and then covered to 2,000 long and then sold. And I couldn't make up my mind on which way the stock was going. But my original plan, after I caught myself and had to rethink this trade, was to short here and then long whenever you see it start to bottom out. And here's the clear support. Yes, it went under a little bit, but I told myself, if you see it perk, then pull back and then go sideways for a little bit, risk from there, and then see what it does, because I knew it was gonna bounce. Someone doesn't want this stock to go down, and there's no overhead resistance. But after selling here, it came down, and I practically was so emotionally unstable that I kind of like gave up. So as it was coming down here, it perked up, and I'm like, damn, I missed the long. But I'm like, no. But really, in actuality, no, I didn't. This was part of the plan for it to perk up, consolidate, and then I get into the consolidation. And it perked up. It did exactly what I said, and I was so emotionally unstable. I saw that it pulled back right here, and I couldn't think straight. And I was like, you know what? I need to walk away from this computer, um, and let go. And I did. And as you can see here, shit ran up. This is what I needed to get back to even. And I was just trying to, honestly, I don't think I was revenge trading, but I was just trying to make back my gains the whole time. And this was the uptrend that I needed to make my gains. Now, if I were to have traded well here and traded well here, I would have made back my gains and more. But I was just so emotionally unstable, I couldn't think straight. I was in a survival mode versus a probability mode, and that's what uh, Rondo Howell said. Um, and I just failed to perform. And now I pushed up, pulled back, and the day's almost over. I had took a nap through all of this because I just couldn't be myself. Whenever I'm trading bad, I take a nap to calm myself down, to clear my mind, or I'm just gonna emotionally do something stupid. And here we go, as you can see. Um, and an $1,800 loss. That was all my gains from this week and last week, plus $125. So if my long-term investments weren't uptrending right now, I which is actually it's pulling back right now, I would be I'll be under the PDT rule. So now I'm $300 away from PDT, which is fucking ridiculous. Not on no one's fault but myself. But this is what I get. So tomorrow I'm gonna watch it, look for a first red day, um, and I just gotta be more smarter with my risk. Yes, I sized in too big, but that wasn't the biggest problem. The biggest problem was having the right mindset, having the discipline to hit the order, understanding what, because that's what Rondell Howell, I need to learn his name, said. Um, he said that when you understand the different emotions you're going through and understand why you're feeling them and understand where they're coming from in your life experience, that's when you can understand that, hey, this is the emotion I'm feeling. I'm not in the right mindset. let me calm myself down so that I can perform well. Because it's not about fighting your emotions, it's just about understanding what you're going through and then you catch yourself. Um, and that's how I was able to um, catch myself around this time when I was like, okay, I'm not thinking straight. I had to catch myself here and here, and I'm like, okay, I'm not thinking straight. I'm feeling too much fear. I had to calm myself down because I realized I'm scared as fuck because I'm losing a lot. Um, but even though I caught myself, I was still struggling to perform well because um, it was just difficult. But um, practice and controlling your emotions is what I need to do. But other than that, um, I think I need to just work on myself. I'm not too angry with this loss. I'm disappointed in my performance again. Um, like I said, my goals is to avoid trading randomness. Um, I didn't realize this short. My goal of the week was to avoid trading randomness. I didn't realize this stock was had no overhead resistance. I didn't even bother to look. And my goal for the week is if short first Green Day, make sure there's dilution, which there was, overhead resistance. I didn't even look at that, but there was no overhead resistance. Um, it was a high float. Yes, I did well on that. And where you enter your short matters. Um, I did a well entry on this short. I was 20 cents away from the risk from my from red to green, but I I didn't size accordingly. But um, I mean, it was a good entry. I was in chasing. And then he said, and then I also wrote exit position on the first spike or flush, take gains or singles, not home runs. So the first spike, I didn't take gains, nor did on this first flush, I didn't take any gains. Um, and I would try to go for a bigger gain for not a. I would say this was more of like a. I wasn't going for home runs, but I was waiting for the market open to see how it's going to react to cover. And I won't give myself a negative on that last one, but that's what happened tomorrow. Um, I'm gonna just be practice on being in a better mindset. Of course, I need to lower my size, but I'm battling between trying to make money, trying to supplement my income and everything else, and that's why I'm sizing in big. So I need to really stop that.